I did do that for a while, and it was worth it for a while. And then I evaluated, and I was like, this isn't worth it. And so do it as long as it is worth it for you, and you get to determine when that is, if that ever comes. Welcome to Little by Little Homeschool Podcast, where you'll learn tips and strategies that will empower you to home educate your children. I'm Leigh Nguyen, a homeschool mom of over 12 years, which includes 2 graduates. When I started homeschooling, I was pretty much on my own and was desperate for encouragement and help. My mission is to be a source of encouragement and help to you. Whether you are just beginning your homeschool journey or you're deep into the homeschool lifestyle, Little by Little Homeschool wants to help you stay the course, because all the time you are investing into your children is completely worth it. If you're ready to take your homeschool to new levels, keep listening. Welcome to July, my friend, and thank you for joining me in the summer and learning about homeschooling and wanting to continue the discussion. Most podcasts I notice, and most people who talk about homeschool tend to take a break, and even homeschool moms tend to take a break in the summer. But I just want to say thank you. I am glad that you are here. All right. Today we are going to talk about some tips that I have for the part-time working homeschool mom or the mom who is thinking about it. I'm going to be upfront and honest and tell you that today's episode is going to be what my goal is for it, that it's just a launch pad for you, to give you some ideas. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but to hopefully give you a little bit of a place that you can start from, and then you can launch out into there and then figure out what is going to be best for your family right now in this season of life. So a little bit of my story. I have done some part-time, we'll say, gigs because I wanted to do them. There were times that I just wanted something a little bit extra, or mostly I just wanted a little bit of side income. Or also I just wanted to feel like a person outside of homeschool. There was a period of time where I was looking to get a part-time job outside of the home because we financially needed it. It was a necessary thing at that point. But then my husband and I sat down and had a conversation, and we determined, it's actually 2 different times, and we determined that first time that it would be best for him just to work some overtime. And then that would help supplement that missing income, what we needed at that time. And then the other time we decided that it would be him who would just take on a very small part-time job as opposed to me doing it. So that is a bit of my experience. And as of this point right now, I know a lot of people look and like, okay, I mean, I literally at least put in part-time hours when it comes to Little by Little Homeschool, if not more. I look at it a lot more as a ministry. I feel like it is my way of paying it forward. It's my way of being able to encourage you. And I feel like I benefit from it greatly, not in a financial way, but also mostly because I just get to interact with you and encourage you, because I know what an impact homeschool has made upon my children and on me. And I want the same for you. So yes, at this point right now, I do work at least 20 hours a week. I could probably work on things. There's always something to do. At the end of the afternoon, I have to close things up and I have to say, I can't do anything more. Now, there are some deadlines. There are some things that I need to do, and I have to really prioritize that. And previous to this, I had a blog, and so probably the same amount of hours that I was doing, which is something a little bit different. But anyway, that's where I'm at with it right now. So let's get into what I'm going to say, and don't take any offense to this, okay? But I'm going to divide into 2 groups when it comes to working part-time. And I already a little bit hinted at it in my story. And so I'm going to divide into 2 groups. Either way, whether you fall into either group or somewhere in between, I feel like most of the time we fall into one of these 2 groups. I'm going to encourage you to listen to episode 234, where I talk about how my family has lived on a single income for 20 plus years. But then you're like, wait a minute, Leigh, I thought you said you had a part-time job and you had a blog. Yeah, guess what? That blog pretty much just paid for itself. Anything that I made, I would roll back either into just the maintaining of it behind the scenes in order to even have the putting out of this podcast episode and the blog. When I had that, just to put that, there is the stuff behind. We have to pay for services online, for places to support and to have, for you to be able to access. Now, yes, Instagram, Facebook, they are free. Granted, they take something from you, but they are free to use. But a lot of these things, there's a lot of stuff running in the background that costs money. So when I was doing the blogging, the money either went back into the blog or it went into, it was a DIY blog. And so therefore it went into projects and that kind of stuff. And so now a lot of it really for Little by Little Homeschool gets rolled right back into it. So we have really, there hasn't been, it's not like I mean, I'd love to be able to add extras to the finances and stuff, but basically living on a single income. So anyway, all that to say, go listen to episode 234 when this one is done. So the two different groups that I'm going to talk about here and see which one you fall into. The first one is that you are working part-time because you want to. And the second one is you're working part-time because you have to. So I'm going to speak into both of those. Let's start with the you want to. You want to work part-time. And this could be because you would like some extra money. Maybe you have an income, your husband makes an income that supports your family. And you're fine and you're comfortable, but you'd like a little extra money. Back when I did an MLM, way back, and I really just wanted to make a little bit of extra money because I got really into knitting and I wanted to be able to buy all the needles that I wanted and the yarn and do some crafting and just some extra little things. That's why I did it, because I just wanted to be able to pay for that and it wouldn't affect the budget. So you want to because you like a little extra money for whatever. Or maybe you want to stay relevant in the field of study that you've gone into or your prior career, or just stay relevant in some type of arena. Maybe you see that there's an opportunity to make some part-time income in a certain area and you maybe have some expertise or you're willing to learn. Or maybe you just need something else besides the homeschooling and the motherhood, just your personality is just saying, I want to feel like a person outside of this. I'm feeling like right now in the season, I need something else to be a creative outlet. And there's nothing wrong with any of those. So just decide what is the reason. I think it's really important to know what the reason is, because I think it's important to consistently evaluate if what you are doing is working for your family right now in this season of life. Talk to your husband. And so saying, well, I'd like a little extra money. There came a time where I had to quit that MLM because it was just taking too much time. It wasn't worth it for the income that I was making, the amount of hours that I was putting into it. My mind was fractured at that point, and my kids would go to bed and I would stay up and work on that. And it just wasn't serving us really well. It wasn't serving me well. And I was like, you know what? If I don't have that little bit of extra income, that's okay. Better for me to get to sleep. It'd be better for me right now in this season just to focus on the kids. There's time to do things later on. So I think it's good to consistently evaluate, is this working right now for us? And if you say, yes, this is working for us, I want you to make it work for you. Make it work for what you have going on right now. Now, I know it's the summer, so you probably have very limited homeschool duties that you're doing. Maybe it's just a little bit more of a free-for-all, even if you're doing some homeschool stuff. And this is kind of assuming that you don't do year-round, or maybe you do year-round. And you say, that is best for me to do year-round so that I then also have a routine to every single day, because I do have hours that I want to put into my part-time work, maybe every day or every weekday or most weekdays. But make whatever it is you're doing, whether this is, I'm going to assume a lot of this is probably maybe from home. It could be outside of the home, but make it work for you and make it worth it. Make it worth your time. Now you get to decide, is it worth my time? And I did do that for a while. That MLM I was telling you about, I did do that for a while, and it was worth it for a while. And then I evaluated and I was like, this isn't worth it. And so do it as long as it is worth it for you. And you get to determine when that is, if that ever comes. You might do this your entire time while you're homeschooling, and that's perfectly fine. Now I want to talk to the second group, is that you have to homeschool. You have to have a part-time job. So this most likely is for financial reasons. And your part-time job then has to be a priority. It has to be something that you structure your days around. You're going to set up your routine around your work schedule or your work hours, because it has to be a priority. You have bills that you need to contribute to, and there is no shame in that. Absolutely no shame at all. You have to do what is best for your family right now. And so don't think that you're less than because you also work outside the home or have to work from home and have to balance this. It's okay. So set up your routine, set up your days so that you then have your own routine, your own schedule, and it's around when you need to work. Homeschool can fit into the nooks and crannies of the day. And maybe right now, because it's summer, you might have more time where you're actually putting into hours for work. Or you might say it is best for us, like I was speaking to the mother before, that might be doing a part-time job because she wants to. You might decide to do year-round homeschool so that there is some consistency to your days. Or maybe you do a couple weeks on and then take a couple days or a week off. But you have to figure out what is going to be best and work it around your schedule of working, understanding that you're going to need some buffer. If you're working part-time, especially if it's outside the home, you have to get yourself ready and you have to get somewhere, and maybe it's something that is physically taxing on you or emotionally taxing or mentally. Take some time also so that you can decompress. You have to add that in to your day. So if you are, say we're working out of the home, you might have some set hours. For example, you might work, let's say, Monday and Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. You're going to set up your days around that. Maybe, for example, you just do some homeschool on those Mondays and Wednesdays just in the morning. You just do some morning time, or you might say, you know what? I don't have the bandwidth right now to do things with them. Monday and Wednesday mornings are completely independent work. I'm going to make sure they get started on it. We do our chores, they get started on it, they do their couple of things. I will maybe look over their stuff, and then they're done and free for the day because I need to get some housework done. I need to make sure dinner is in the oven before I leave and those kinds of things. So if you have set hours, that can work. That I think can sometimes be easier because you can say, okay, this is when I work every single week. Whether maybe that's, so we're talking about that out of home. So if you work outside of the home and your hours vary, maybe you get a weekly or every 2 weeks or so, they tell you the hours that you are working. Take a look at that. So you get your schedule on Friday for the following week. This could go for anything. Take a look over the weekend as to what are you working? What do you want to accomplish as far as your homeschool? What is the housework that you need to do? And then create a routine or a schedule for that coming week. And it's okay to change it up. It's okay if your schedule looks different every single week because your hours vary. Now, say you work from home. Well, okay, maybe you just have to decide what your hours are, or maybe you have some set hours. Maybe it's something like you do some customer service. I had a friend who homeschooled. She is a single mom, and she just did a wonderful job raising her kids and finding opportunities to be able to make an income. And one of those was customer service. So she had to be, we'll say, in air quotes, on call during the day from, we'll say, 8 to 4:30. They gave her an extra cell phone, and she had to be prepared to answer the cell phone to set it up. This was a service type of industry company. And so she would take the initial information, and so she had a process that she needed to do. And so she had to realize that during the day, she might need to take a phone call. Now, maybe she's at the grocery store and the phone rings and she's like, this isn't really the great place to do this. She knew that when she got home, she would then have to take a look at the voicemail and then return that phone call. It was a priority for her. So her hours were not necessarily specific, but they were specific hours that she needed to be on call during the day. Or maybe you get to decide what those hours are. And in some season, those hours that you put in to do whatever it is might be in the evening after the kids are in bed. It could be in the afternoon, maybe during nap time, or maybe it's just in little hidden pockets throughout the day. Or you could say you actually are doing some certain hours and the kids are playing and doing independent work, and you really just need to decide, what is it going to look like right now? So right now here in the summer, it's going to look one way. This is overall. Whether you are working from home and deciding hours, whatever it looks like, you have to just say, okay, this is what it looks like right now this summer. And then when we start our homeschool year, this is what it's going to look like at that time. And it is totally normal for it to look different here in the summer than it to look different than in the fall. I mean, that's for everybody, whether you work from home or you don't work from home or you work part-time, whatever the situation is. But I'm going to encourage you that if you have a part-time job, and especially if it's one that you have to work, and there probably are some groups also if you want to work, but I know that there are some Facebook groups. I know that, we can all get down on Facebook, but there are some Facebook groups that are specifically geared to moms who work full-time or part-time. Just go ahead into the search engine there in Facebook and start to kind of put some of those keywords in and find some groups. It is okay that you might see things different theologically from the group or from the people in the group. Join the group anyway, because I'm going to tell you right now, the people who have the best ideas and that are the most creative are the ones who are doing it. The moms that are working possibly part-time because they have to, they're going to give you some ideas, and not all of their ideas are going to work for you. Someone might tell you exactly what they do, and it's 5 different things that they do, and you might say, okay, 1 or 2 of those might actually work for me. Let's give it a try. So I want to encourage you that if you are in this situation, you have to work part-time, whether that's from home or outside of the home. I'm going to encourage you to go find a Facebook group because they're going to give you way more ideas. This is just a launch pad. So I'm going to launch you out into those Facebook groups. Ignore all the dumpster fire of other things that are in Facebook. Take what you can find. Basically, what's the Bible verse of, take the meat, right? Spit out the bone kind of thing. So the things aren't going to work for you. That's okay. Don't worry about those things, but to get you some ideas. And you might say, oh, I never would have thought of that, or just maybe some confirmation of some ideas. If you are in a situation that you are looking just for some more input, one-on-one, you have questions, maybe it's related to this episode, or it's related to anything that has to do with homeschooling, Christian motherhood, any of those things, a combination of those things, I would love to be able to meet with you one-on-one, and you can do that through my mentorship program. Because I have one of those. I love to get to know moms one-on-one. You can get more information at littlebylittlehomeschool.com/mentorship. The link will also be in the show notes for you. I would love to be able to connect with you if you're looking to get some questions answered as we go into the homeschool year. I am game to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So go check out that link, and I look forward to seeing you back here on the podcast in just a few days. Thank you for listening, friend. I'd love to connect with you more. You can find social media links in the show notes and share this episode with a friend who could use a boost to her homeschool. See you back here real soon.